first question, and it's a serious question, Chris. By the way, good morning. But are you handy around the house?
Yeah, I'm okay. What's this about you setting fires or something like that? You trying to burn your own house down, man?
I made a tactical error because I let my kids downstairs when I was building a fire, and they closed the flue, so the fire department came and thought that I didn't know how to build a fire. So,
yeah, man, it happens. I'm handy around the house because I don't try to be handy. That pretty much works for me.
When do you call somebody to do something?
Every day.
Do you put up your own Christmas lights?
No, I have not. I have not done that really since I was a kid. Since having my family and putting up Christmas trees, I have not put lights up once.
But do they do
want
that?
Them to look good.
Do they do that in Miami?
What, put up Christmas trees?
Yeah, put up lights.
Put up lights? Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's always kind of weird because you're used to seeing Christmas lights and it being cold and stuff, so it kind of throws you off a little bit. But yeah, I mean, a lot of guys put up lights around here, and it works. You just have to make sure that you're ready for when it rains.
How tall were you in like 8th grade?
Man, 8th grade, I was about 6'1".
And then when did it happen?
I want to say probably from the 9th to the 9th through the 12th grade. I think I grew like 2 inches every year. And then, I look up and one day I'm 6'10", and I've got a chance to, make the NBA. So it was pretty cool.
But you also learned how to handle the ball. Sometimes you get those big guys at a younger age, aren't that tall, and you learn how to be a guard.
Yeah. Well, when I was like 6'3", 6'4", of course, on my public school team, I was playing down in the post. But me being a fan of basketball, I put two and two together. I was like, well, Michael Jordan is 6'6", and he's taller than me. So I probably need to, I'm going to be a guard. I wanted to be a small forward because I figured I was going to grow a little more.
Yeah.
So, I started handling the ball and working on those things, getting ready, just having the NBA in mind because I was pretty obsessed with it.
But did you want to be a Magic Johnson, kind of like I'm going to be a little bit taller and be like a 6'8", 6'9" point guard?
No, I never wanted to be a point guard. I like shooting the ball too much. I always like scoring.
Well, yeah, but these point guards shoot as much as anybody does now, Chris.
Well, yeah, for sure. But, Magic Johnson, it's a little different now with the visualization of the game. And, yeah, you do have more scoring point guards. But when I was growing up, early 90s, mid-90s, there wasn't as many scoring point guards like it is now.
I think Tim Hardaway kind of changed things, though.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway, I think, well, at least for me, he was one of the first guys that I watched and saw that, he could really, really put the ball in the hole and run the team at the same time. So I had a teammate like that, and, I just always had to work with him on getting me the ball and, passing.
He's Chris Bosh of the Heat last night, Miami over Oklahoma City 97-95. Did you watch the end of the Green Bay-Detroit game? Did you care about that game?
No, I didn't see the end, but I just saw, in my morning little ritual of seeing what happened yesterday, I did see the last play. All I remember is a buddy of mine telling me that Detroit was up 20-0.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, man, then Green Bay's about to drop another one, and I didn't pay any attention. I thought the Lions had it.
Are you you're a Cowboy fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan.
Die-hard Cowboy fan?
Yeah, man, I'm from Dallas,
But do your teammates give you grief about the Cowboys?
Yeah, everybody gives me grief about the Cowboys, man. I don't understand. It's crazy. It's like, man, why do you guys mess with me? I just want to support my team. Stop messing with me every day.
But is Dwayne Wade a Packer fan since he went to Marquette?
Oh, no. He's a Bears fan.
Oh.
He'll get mad at that one.
Oh, that's right.
I know he'll. Oh, my God, I can't believe you said that.
Who is tougher to cover, Durant or Westbrook?
Man, well, for me or what I think, because I've never had to cover either of
Okay,
them.
when you're watching, who appears to be
Yeah.
tougher to cover?
I mean, it's pretty much like 1A and 1B, but I'll go with Durant because he's so tall. I mean, we're pretty much the same height. I'm pretty tall. And I mean, he's just quick like a guard. And he can handle the ball. The way he can handle the ball and shoot the ball, I mean, he's just deadly as soon as he gets within 30 feet. And I mean, he can go off ISOs and he can go off screen and rolls. He can go on the post. I mean, he can pretty much do everything out there on the court. And Westbrook can too. I give Durant the edge just because he's taller.
I was wondering about this, Chris. I think you were 19 when you came into the NBA, and I couldn't help but
Right.
think about Jahlil Okafor being 19. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I have kids of that age, but I don't know what 19 is like in the NBA now. Is it better or
Yeah.
worse or more dangerous for a 19-year-old now or when you came in?
Well, I would say it's more dangerous now because more people are going to know who you are. Everybody's got the camera phones out now. Um, with Philly, they don't have any veteran presence on their team. When I got drafted, I had about 4 or 5 vets, like veteran players that had been around the league for quite a while, and they were able to take me under their wing and really show me the ropes and kind of teach me the ins and outs of the NBA. I think now there's not as many veteran players. If you look at all the rosters, there are guys who come into the league and they need someone to kind of tell them how things work around the league. I think he's kind of probably really just figuring out on his own, and that's a really really tough thing to do because it's enough of a shock anyway, being a teenager in the NBA.
I have an apology to make to you, and it stems from Kevin Love. When Kevin Love was trying to fit in with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and like you had those all-star numbers with Toronto, and you went to Miami, and you didn't have those numbers, and then you became a three-point shooter. And I didn't, I made the mistake of saying, sort of, where did Chris Bosh go? But you were trying to figure out you were being the ultimate team player. And I didn't recognize that at the time, and I felt bad because I said it on the radio. And the same thing with Kevin Love is what brought it to light. Kevin was trying to figure out what you figured out in Miami. So I do apologize. Is that a fair assessment of what you were trying to do in Miami?
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly what was going on. I mean, it was really rough in the first couple years. For us, but for me personally, trying to fit in, trying to mold my game around the team and what the team needed. I remember when all the jokes were coming out about me, I was averaging 18 points and 8 rebounds. So in my first year, and then it went down from there.
Yeah.
So, it was like, well, you can't please everybody. That's when I noticed you couldn't please everybody. And I had to kind of really figure out what was going to help the team. And sometimes when my numbers were a little low, we won games, so it was just really just figuring out the game of basketball. I mean, that was the most challenging thing for me that I've ever done in my career because as the primary scorer, you used to getting the ball in the post, get out the way, and I'll figure everything else out later. I'm going to get these 24, 25 points, and I'll move the ball if I get double teamed. In this, I had to spread the wealth. I had to learn how to do that and learn how to take a back seat because, quite frankly, with LeBron and Dwayne, they could take over games at any moment. And I had to kind of take my ego out of it, and that was extremely hard to do.
When I say Kobe Bryant, first thing that comes to mind is what?
Oh, man, greatness. Greatness. I mean, he's the greatest player of my generation. He was he was that guy after Mike that really just won, and he was about winning championships. And he really did it at a young age. I mean, he was, what they three-peated. He's 21, 22 years old, and and it was just amazing just to see him kind of climb up so high so fast. And you know, they did have their struggles, but he was still a great player. I mean, one of the greatest I've ever seen, of course.
You didn't have to experience the 81-point game?
I was in the game.
Oh, you were? You were still in Toronto?
Yeah, I was in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, man. They were showing it on NBA TV last night, man. I'm like, why they keep showing this game, man? People don't know that. They were like, you were in that game? I said, yeah, man. Don't even. It was, whatever. It was a bad game.
but you didn't guard him. Like, you can at least say that, right?
Yeah, I can at least say
Nobody
that.
guarded him.
Yeah, nobody guarded him. I was watching it again. I think his first 4 buckets were layups. So, like, of course, you know, one of the greatest scorers to ever play in this game. And, yeah, we opened up with layups.
But you know what? He only outscored
incredible.
you, Chris, by 63 that night.
Yeah, you know, it's small things. Small things, man.
But what is that like when you're on the floor and you're witnessing something that we've never seen before, aside from Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100, but this is a 6'6" guy getting 81.
You kind of get caught in playing and watching, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like
a fan?
After a while, yeah. Well, not so much a fan, but just it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird because all I remember about that game is I don't remember the first half. I remember halftime, and we were like, "Hey, we're winning," because we were up by like 15 points. Like, we're winning. I think he only had 26 at the half. You know, a lot of people don't know that he had 55 in the second half. So it just seemed like he kept hitting everything, and no matter what we did, he hit some incredible shots in that game. And I just remember just running down, and the fans kept getting louder and louder. You know, you look up at the scoreboard, and it's like, wait a minute, he's got 50 points. And then, you know, I run back, and it's like 60. It's like, hey, somebody's multiplying. This can't be real. And then the next thing you know, he's got like 70-something points, and it's like, oh, man, this is embarrassing. You know, then you kind of wake back up. So I didn't remember everything from 30 to 70. I don't remember.
I mentioned before I let you go, you're already comeback player of the year in the NBA, aren't you?
I have no idea. Am I?
Well, that's came back from blood clots in your lungs, Chris.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you don't want to win that award, but if you're going to win it,
at least be out last year.
But I was also wondering this. It's one thing if we're not doing well, feeling well, or something's wrong with us, but when your kids walk in and see you hooked up to tubes and an IV, you can't hide that stuff.
Nah, it was tough, man. I mean, my kids were young enough kind of not to be worried that much. They were just asking me a lot of questions, and I had to really get over myself because I didn't want them to see me like that. I think I was in the hospital 9 days. They came to see me one day, and I didn't want them to come really. And my wife, she kind of was like, no, they need to come and see you. You need to see your kids. I was like, you're right. All right. You know, I was hurting and everything, but I sat up for them and they spent the day with me. And my son, he was funny. He was asking the doctors questions. Well, what's this number? Well, what's that? He was just like poking and prying everywhere. And they were taking care of me.
Hey, congrats so far, and keep up the great work. Thanks for joining us, Chris. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, that's Chris Bosh, Heat Forward. How good's that? That was fun. Good interview.